What is up, Misfits? It is time for your midweek collective check-in. Many apologies for not getting any other videos up this week. It's been a little drained, so I didn't actually have a chance to record anything this weekend. And I suspect that the energy might be like that for a couple weeks. So the one thing I can say is definitely make sure you check out my channel on Thursdays, because that is when I upload the midweek check-in for the collective, and that seems to be something I consistently do, and I can absolutely say I'm going to be doing that on Thursday morning. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and of course like and share. So we're gonna go ahead and pop in. I've got your rune card right here. I have not looked at it. We'll flip that over at the end, and we're gonna go ahead and get into our oracle cards and see what we got for these next 7 days. If you see any smoke, it's not any like orbs or weird spirits or anything. I just got some sage going, because you know, can't ever be too clean here. So we have chance, just lots, direction, and fickle. So immediately what I'm picking up off of this is that some of you are very indecisive about the direction that you want to move next. Now, what I can say is this does seem to be a continuation of the energy of last week, but let's see what the cards have to say. I am using the Oshozin Tarot today, and I'll be clarifying, I decided at the last minute, with the Tarot of the New Vision. And of course, if the cards decide to pussyfoot around, I will pull out the Lenormand and the Kipper for further clarification if we need it. Whew, deep breath. Okay, so let's get this party started here. Spirit, can you give me some insight on chance, please? Lots chance. Okay, source and guilt. So for some of you, you might have gotten a message or a download about something that you were supposed to do, or a direction you were supposed to take, and you questioned yourself out of making that decision. So now there's a level of guilt that you're experiencing because you're seeing how things are playing out now, and you're realizing, had you taken the steps that you needed to, that you would be in the position to move forward. So that actually leads me to believe that some of you are not in a position to move forward right now because you're not remaining receptive. Okay, now this is an energy that Pisces season kind of has wrapped around it like a big old cloud of awesomeness, if you will. And that's to remain receptive. So very often, like, this is the period of time for a wrap up. And I'm not just saying that because it's retrograde. I'm saying that because we're going towards the end of the astrological year, heading into the astrological new year, which is Aries season. Yeah. Okay. So for some of you, the trick to making it through this season is to remain receptive and recognize that the messages that you're being downloaded right now are actually coming from source, okay? However, I do want to point out, if you're getting messages that in their initial incoming, if you will, make you feel guilty, that is likely not something that is from a higher vibration, and I would suggest that you question that, okay? Sometimes when that guilt card comes in, that's ego messing with us. This actually represents the 8 of Swords in traditional tarot, so effectively it's kind of keeping yourself trapped. Alright, so let's see what else we got here. This might be a little bit of a shorter one today, just because my energy is fading. And there's just not... Okay, breakthrough. So we've got the Justice card under footprints and direction, which is breakthrough in this particular deck. So there is something that you might have been forced to pause on at this time. because you weren't sure which direction to go. And this definitely ties into this first section here. It's like if you had a multitude of paths in front of you and you stalled too long because you didn't know which direction to take, I feel like you're getting that breakthrough this next 7 days. So pay attention to the downloads that you're getting. Pay attention to as I like to say, not necessarily unsolicited advice, but advice that rings true, that comes through at just the right time when you're thinking about something. So it's like sometimes we can have we can be questioning something, and the universe will put someone in our path and they give us the exact answer that we didn't even quite know that we needed. So keep that in mind, okay? So then we've got courage, yep, and the master. Okay, so this is the strength card, so justice, strength, and then of course the master, which is unique to this deck. And I actually would go so far as to say is that this particular card, the master, does speak to some type of mastery that you have achieved. So whether that's the mastery of making decisions for yourself and not needing to seek outside influence or sources. The mastery of being able to keep your own counsel is another one. The mastery of being able to recognize opportunities when they present themselves and not needing to guess or question. And again, this ties into remaining receptive, okay? All right, let's look at our last section here. Okay, we have Ten of Pentacles. We are the world. Aloneness. That is the Hermit card. Yeah, that's the Hermit card. Yeah, I was going to ask for one more. So, and then we've got traveling and healing. So, yeah, you're on a journey right now. And this points more to a spiritual journey than anything else. But this spiritual journey is very directly tied with your financial and tangible abundance. So it could very well be like, for example, you've got multiple jobs ahead of you and you're trying to decide which one to go after. And part of you making that decision of which one you should go after has to do with in the most mundane sense, how far do you got to go to get to the job, okay? In a more significant sense, is this job going to allow me to be in a state where I can heal myself? Is it something that I resonate with? Is it going to take, or excuse me, is it going to give more than it takes from me, okay? And these are questions you definitely want to ask yourself. However, there's something very, like it says fickle on here about either the way you're going about making that decision or the parameters in which you're choosing, the parameters in which you're using in order to choose which direction to go in. Thank you very much. Okay. But I do see that this is a deep time of inner reflection and inner fortitude that you're trying to master, because mastering this is going to allow you to break through the stalemate that you have been in and allow you to walk towards this abundance that you've been seeking, okay? The Hermit card signifies going within to get deep inner knowledge, okay? And this is something that's important to do, especially during Pisces season. I mean, there really is no better time other than Pisces season to do this type of inner work. Not just because it falls during, the winter time, which is often good for that shadow work, but also because Pisces season allows you to get in touch with your inner emotions. Now, granted, Pisces being what it is, and, within certain aspects of vibration, you might have to peel away the layers of ether, if you will, in order to get to the truth. But if you do the work, you will get to the truth during the season. Again, if you do the work, you will get to the truth, okay? So let's go ahead and start clarifying some of these. Oh yeah, this totally might be a short one. We're only 10 minutes in. Okay. Let's try that again. Can we clarify this pile, please? Can we clarify the chance pile? I feel like I'm talking about Monopoly. Okay, perfect. So we've got the Emperor card. So this is definitely a status that you're trying to walk into right now. It's almost like if you were approached about a position in which you have some of the skill, but you don't feel like you have or you contain all the skill needed in order to successfully do this job. It's as if stepping into this particular position is going to require you to level up in a way that you haven't before. Okay? Yeah. Oh, this is good. Okay. Okay, so yeah, there's still some indecision that you are trying to work yourself through. And part of this, again, it has to do with you being receptive. We've got the Queen of Swords. Okay. Queen of Swords here. And this archetype has her sword up. Okay, so this is someone who's not receptive to things coming in. This is someone who's still on the defense. It's counterintuitive to this energy here that Source is asking you to put yourself in, which is to remain receptive. The Star card here is someone who is receptive. Okay, it could also stand for someone who has some type of fame. They're well known. That's also a possibility. But I feel like for some of you, it's like this decision of stepping into this role, which actually might put more eyes on you than you're comfortable with or that you're familiar with. Or if it's remaining closed off and in a state of indecision. And I feel like that's kind of where this guilt is coming from. I'm hearing like time is of the essence. You need to make a decision. Now, granted, nothing that's meant for you is going to be kept from you. Okay, it might take a while to cycle back around if you don't make the decision or take that step within that window, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be kept from you. So by all means, like, don't feel like, oh, well, if I don't make this decision now, it's never going to come back around again. I don't subscribe to that belief. So, in this instance, however, I do feel like there is a decision on the table, and that decision has to do with you stepping into a role, stepping into purpose. As I'm looking at the entirety of this reading, it does feel a lot more spiritual in nature. So this, I would definitely say this is some part of the Ascension process, like a major milestone within the Ascension process that some of you are going through. But there's something you haven't made a decision about. It could be something that you've been ignoring, trying to pretend it isn't there. And I say that because the Queen of Swords, with her sword up, is facing away from this hangman. So it's like, you realize that this thing is here. Whatever this indecision is, whatever this hang up is, which is really weird to say for the hangman, right? Hang up, meh. But whatever this is that you are hanging on to, not deciding on, whatever this stalemate is, ignoring it is not going to make it go away. It's necessary for you to make the decision, or you're going to keep staying in energy like this. I take this as an energy of like anxiety, inability to sit still, guilt, racing thoughts. Like, that's this card for me. And effectively, it's a card of keeping yourself in that energy. No one's putting you there. That's you putting yourself there. And it has to do with the fact that you're not addressing whatever this hangman energy is. I do feel like it has something to do with bossing up in something. This could be your career. Possibly it could just be stepping into purpose, stepping into mission, your spiritual mission here with the Star card. But in order to fully do that, you actually need to be receptive to Source. Okay, so we can call that group 1. All right, so let's go ahead and clarify the second card here, or the second pile, excuse me. All right, clarify the second pile, please. All right, so something's coming in quick. Or I should say, oh, wow. Okay. So, I feel like this energy that you're breaking out of, and I would say that for those of you that this scenario is not tied to this first group of cards, excuse me, if you will, and I'm getting the confirmation that this is a whole separate group of people, so that helps. Okay. So I feel like for some of you, this breakthrough that you're experiencing in which direction to go is happening as a result of some type of conflict. I do feel like for the majority of you, you did not see this conflict coming. It came very quickly, quite literally out of left wind. And this is the leave-ins, if you will, of that situation and what's left. There is a winner, and someone who has completed that destruction of all costs. Okay. It does feel like this is someone coming in. I feel like they are disguised as someone who is very giving, someone who is very forthright. I'd even go to so far to say as someone who's even generous. The appearance of generosity, at least on the surface, they have mastered something, but I don't feel like this person has your best interest at heart. So, this is interesting. So it feels like the Knight of Wands is the energy itself that's coming in and not a person, okay? The Five of Swords feels like the result of what happens after this Knight of Swords energy. Knight of Wands. Wow. Okay, apparently we're getting wands and swords mixed up today. So I must be talking to air and fire signs. In any case, this Five of Swords energy is the result of this Knight of Wands energy, because the Knight of Wands is literally rushing right into this Five of Swords energy. Okay? And I feel like this Queen of Pentacles is you. So whoever the person is in this energy, or just this energy in general, I don't feel like it's necessarily in your favor. However, this does feel a lot like a blessing in disguise, because it's going to let you know exactly what direction you need to be heading in. It's going to allow you to have the courage to step into a certain mastery that you haven't dealt with before. Okay, it could be financial in nature, but not necessarily. I just feel like this is more grounded in the physical and in the 3D. Okay, actually I want a little bit more information on this pile, please. Jesus, it just gets better. Okay, so we've got the Five of Cups. Yeah, let's do some more, a little bit more. Oh, there's a card right here. And it just gets better. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, group 2. And we've got the Ten of Swords. So, it's interesting. Interesting, in that there's a person who's sitting here grieving. It feels like the same person who's in this Five of Swords energy. So it's like if this Knight of Wands were to represent the energy of the person who is ingrained in this Five of Swords, they come through, destruct everything in an attempt to bring you down some kind of level. So it reminds me of someone who is really of jealousy. That's what it kind of comes down to. I mean, if we're rooting this down in the physical, it reminds me of someone who is jealous of what someone else has, so they're speaking vitriol behind their back in order to turn people against them. And what ends up happening in that scenario is that people stop dealing with this person because they realize how full of shit they are. Let's just call it how I see it, okay? And these same people who are walking away from this person are actually walking towards you to help you. All these swords that are stabbed in your back have to do with this energy right here. Okay, this person is the one who ends up grieving or being in grief because of the things that they said. So there is someone here. You have more people on your side than you realize. So for those of you, again, that this is rooted in the physical and has to do with work, if this is ill being spoken of you at work, the culprit is going to be exposed. They will be exposed. That's exactly what I'm seeing here, okay? But again, this allows you, it's a blessing in disguise, even though this is going to hurt. And I am feeling that energy that this is going to be a bit painful to hear who it is and what they've been saying. But I do feel like it allows you to get out of this hangman energy. Again, for those of you that this is connected, I know I got the confirmation that it wasn't, but general reading, okay? It's all connected regardless to what subsect of issue you're dealing with over these next 7 days. In any case, it's going to allow you to get through this hangman energy and have a breakthrough again, like I said, to know where to go and what to do next. It's going to let you know exactly what chess pieces you should be moving. Good lordy. Okay. You go there. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to this third pile. Yeah, this is like, ugh. I'm not a fan of this energy. Whoever this person is, they've got a mixture of air and water in their chart, very likely. And the person that it is that's on your side, I don't feel like you are aware of who they are. On the flip side of this, no, there's no flip side. No, actually there is. On the flip side of this, it could be whoever this 5 of Swords person was, who was speaking ill of you, and now everybody's kind of walked away and said, you're full of shit. I'm kind of tired of hearing you gossip and talk crap about this person. They're not that bad of a person. Whatever, fill in the blank there. Okay, it could be that this person is coming to you to give you an apology, to try to actually reestablish some type of balance between you. Unfortunately, I do feel like the damage has been done. You've mastered their bullshit. You're not interested in playing around anymore, so you're going to exit stage left, okay? Last pile. Yeah. So there's definitely some kind of offer coming in for some of you here in this third pile. Whoo, hello, nurse. Double hello, nurse. This third pile's looking like super nice compared to the one before it. Okay. We got the Knight of Pentacles, 2 of Cups, 4 of Wands, 3 of Pentacles. So, for those of you that this is directly dealing with work, and the only reason, like, I say that this, at least within this sector right here, could be dealing with work, is because of all the pentacles that we've got on the board. Swords. Okay. So yeah, for this last group of you, like I said, this does feel much more spiritual in overtones. But here's the thing about spiritual readings in general, especially when I do them. Just because they're spiritual in nature doesn't not mean that they don't play themselves out in the 3D or in your everyday world. That's effectively how we learn spiritually, is through our interactions in the 3D and in the tangible and the physical, okay? So for some of you, it feels like part of this fickleness has to do with whether you want to pursue a romantic partnership, or actually, oh, we've got progression here. That's interesting. For some of you, this could be romantic, and I feel like for the bigger group of you, this is a romantic partnership that is coming into play over these next 7 days. But for others of you, I feel like this has to do with you determining whether or not you want to accept an offer of work. Okay? You might feel like the financial package that they're offering is just much too small. But you do suspect that there will be a degree of union and teamwork within this particular job. And you also feel like the work is something that you'll find emotionally fulfilling as well. So It's interesting. You are being encouraged to uh go within and do the research. You know, definitely sit and meditate on whatever this job offer is. Um, yeah, I feel like if you went for this Knight of Pentacles, excuse me, Page of Pentacles. Oh my god, I called it the Knight of Pentacles. You know what? Retrograde? Meh. Okay. So, this Page of Pentacles energy, I do feel like this offer, although it's small, is actually going to bring you a significant amount of rewards, okay? And I say that because one pentacle here leads to 3 pentacles, which ends up leading to 10 pentacles, okay? It eventually is going to give you the security that you want and that you're asking for, but I do feel like just with the progression of this, that it's something that might take a little bit of time, and perhaps that's why you're being fickle about going after this particular position, is because you know in order to get where you would like to, at least in a financial sense, that it's going to require some investment in this particular job. So, like, for those of you, for example, that have been in a position that you constantly job hop, you know, by force or necessity, whatever, I have no judgment here, okay? It's like you have the opportunity to go into something much more solid, but the pay is so much lower that you're almost turned off by the offer. And I really want to encourage you to go within on this, because I do feel like you'll get the download that this is the right direction, and you'll get the download as to why it's the right direction that you should be going. A lot of it could have to deal with what's gone down at this other job that you're at, and just the, you know, the vitriol, because that's what happens when there is some degree of lying and mischief and backstabbing at a position. It can certainly make you feel unwelcome. So it could just simply be that because you are feeling so unwelcome and so turned off by whatever is going on at this previous job, that even though this is a much lower offer, it feels much more emotionally satisfying because you're not dealing with some high school bullshit. There it is. Okay, so I do not feel like we need to hop into the Kipper. I kind of want to hop into the Kipper. Oh, we're at 27. Okay, so no, this is pretty straightforward. Okay, we're gonna pull out the Kipper. And it's just because, like, the way this is playing out, I'm not sure if it has more to do with love or it has more to do with work. And it could be a scenario that it has to do with love and work, but it's going to let us know. So I'm going to actually use the Kipper for this and not the Lenormand. I just want a little bit more insight. And then we will hop into our rune card and wrap this up. Fortuna, baby. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. So Great Fortune is definitely ahead of you. You've got some money coming. Okay, it's love. So this has to do with, I'm going to say the larger group of you, this has to do with love. It's possible that you're going into business with this person, or maybe you are already in business with this person, and there has been some disunity? I want to say disunity, but I'm not actually sure if that's a word. So lack of unity going on at your place of employment with your partner, business partner, husband, wife, partner. Pick a role if you really want to go there. But I do feel like whatever new offer or new settlement is coming in between the both of you, that is actually going to lead to quite a bit of abundance. Like I said, I did see it going from 1 pentacle to 3 pentacles to 10 pentacles. Now, granted, there's some skip steps in there, but ultimately that is progression, okay? That's what you want to see as far as something 3D and growing. And you're already in this Queen of Pentacles energy, so you've done the work. You've mastered that, okay? Like I always say, the Queen of Pentacles is the closest queen to Empress energy. That's a damn good position to be in, especially for the spread that I'm seeing here on my table. So I feel like if this is resonating with you, you're looking good. Go within, do a little bit of meditating, and follow your gut, okay? I do feel like you'll get some insight from source, but you have to center yourself, all right? So the rune card that we've got for our next 7 days is Yira. Okay, so things are moving forward. They're about to start moving forward very quickly. That's definitely evidenced here by this 8 of Wands, traveling. You could actually physically be traveling somewhere and run into some of this scenario, or it just could mean that this abundance, this manifestation is coming to you. This reward, this justice is now coming to you, because we do have the Justice card here, which is, where'd it go? Here we go. The breakthrough card here. This is justice in Osho Zen Tarot. I want a breakthrough too. Right? Yeah. I mean, look at this person on here. This character looks tired as hell. It's like, man, I've been fighting and fighting, and I'm done fighting. I didn't broke through. All right. So yeah, this is amazing. So of course, we're going to learn this together. I'm going to read out of the book, and I will do a little bit more research, and at some point tomorrow I will actually post a link to the site that I have found that explains the year a little bit more. And as always, I encourage you to do your own research, okay? And see how it ends up resonating with you. So, Yira, or Jira, I like calling it Yira. So the meaning is year, harvest, the harbinger of reward. Fortuna. Okay. With hard work and effort, a reward is received. Symbolizes natural cycles. Year's shape appears like the winding paths made in wheat or corn fields. These paths can create a labyrinth pattern used to confuse or amuse people wandering amongst them. Year is the harvest, reaping what you have worked hard to do. It's the celebration done at the end of a cycle, and it's the promise that life will be renewed. What did I say in the very beginning? That this is the time of wrap-ups, because we're in Pisces season. Okay, so you're going to start to see a lot of these same themes coming up. Now, with the fact that we're in retrograde in Pisces season, and I want to say Mercury, actually, I'm not going to even say that, because I'm not exactly sure where Mercury is. I think it's retrograde in Pisces, but don't quote me on that. Again, do your own research. I am not an astrologer, okay? And I haven't had time to watch any astrologers because girl got shit to do, okay? But because we are in Pisces season and Pisces energy, it is the end. It is the wrap up. That is why Pisces is considered to be the wisest soul, the wisest energy of the zodiac, okay? You are at the end, you're wrapping things up, so you're going to see these themes emerge that seem to come out of nowhere. Just recognize that we're still wrapping up that quote-unquote 2019 energy that we were dealing with, like the apex of all that energy. This is it winding down and the rest of those cycles completing, so the wheel can finally fully turn and you can get that reward. All right, y'all. So that's going to be it for this midweek check-in. Thanks for hanging with me. If you've made it this far in the video, I'd appreciate a like. Definitely subscribe. There's more where this came from. And with that said, I love each and every one of you. I've got gratitude for each and every one of you. And remember that your peace is your power. All right. I'll check y'all later.